have been going to their house every Sunday because they do an awesome thing that is called Summer Sundays. So I'm going to invite Jenny Flinders and Jed Darland. They are the founders of the Kirkland White House. There's a story behind that, and I believe they're going to tell you that story. I'm dying to tell it, but I'll let them tell. And they are the founders of MAGA Flowers Garden. These two patriots were the first to show up open carrying in downtown Kirkland to support Kirkland PD, to protect the First Amendment rights of the protesters and defend their city from a credible threat from Antifa on June 1st. I think you all remember when they were attacking the different cities. So they were the first ones to show up. After a weekend of rioting, looting occurred in Bellevue. You may recognize Jed from his interview on Q13 where he called his rifle the Deescalator. A lot of people remember that. Since then, he has been appeared on multiple news programs and on local talk radio. And without further ado, because I talk a lot, I would like to invite Jed and Jenny. Please give them a warm welcome.
Thank you, Anita.
Yeah, thanks, Anita. So, over the past few months, we have very proudly displayed the American flag and the support for our president, living in the middle of the deepest blue area in Washington state, Kirkland. Our flags and signs triggered many vandals, and we have added one sign and one flag after every incident. Needless to say, we now have 15 flags and 9 signs. And guess what? We stopped adding back in May because we ran out of room. Now, the Kirkland White House actually got its name from our very tolerant neighbors. In fact, the one day our postman came up to us and said, "Did you know that the neighbors actually, call you the Kirkland White House?" And at that stage, Jed and I were starting a super PAC. So we thought, well, this is brilliant. So we swiftly registered our super PAC under the name that our very tolerant neighbors gave us, the Kirkland White House. On June 1st, we left the safety of our home after seeing firsthand the chaos in Bellevue just 2 days earlier. Jed and I open carried in downtown Kirkland in an effort to stop Antifa rioting and looting in our waterfront community. Over 24 like-minded patriots showed up that day and thwarted their plans as reported on Cairo 7 News that evening. Since our beautiful patriotic display was created, we have been the victims of vandalism, ranging from trespassing, bleach being left at our front door and told to kill ourselves with it, with the people that drive by and yell just profanities at us, to even explosives being thrown at our front door. And there are many more stories.
Now, many people don't know this, but that day on June 1st in Kirkland, the police pulled over several out-of-area vehicles loaded with bricks, rocks, and containers of gasoline. The local news didn't report it, but one local business owner overheard the Antifa scout on the phone canceling the riots in Kirkland due to, quote, too many armed citizens. They were gonna burn it down. We stayed all day and into the night. Friends of ours stayed until 3 o'clock in the morning, and many of us returned the next day to watch over our community. We had exchanged fist bumps and elbows with peaceful protesters, and even those who were a bit weary of our presence at the beginning had a change of heart as the day went on. One thing was for sure, the Kirkland police appreciated our presence as we exchanged thumbs up and friendly waves as they were restrained by their ability to act against any looting and violence, and everyone that day was grateful that we achieved peace through strength. Kirkland today remains as it was. Not one broken window, not one item looted, not one business destroyed, no violence, no injuries. It was peaceful, and the protesters' First Amendment rights were protected, and their message wasn't diluted by needless acts of violence. So why are the police important? They uphold law and order. If we don't support and adequately fund our police to get more training, more equipment, and more resources to support our community, then we will be left with utter chaos. Poorly trained staff and vulnerable communities unable to seek support when they need it most. Our police protect all of our rights, just like they have been with all of the vandalism and vitriol we have endured at our home for expressing our well-founded beliefs. If we do not have our local police, all of the vandals that have attacked us would go unpunished, leaving them emboldened to return and commit more crimes against our rights, potentially escalating their efforts until somebody gets hurt. More importantly, each officer takes an oath to protect and defend our Constitution, our freedoms, our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Our police are the last line of defense from the agitators, the aggressive mobs, the progressive left who fund them, and the elected politicians who create unconstitutional mandates who wish to violate our God-given rights. The police protect our rights from those who wish to strip them away.
So we stand here today not as frequent victims of the abuse and vandalism, but rather as emboldened patriots who implore you to join our fight against progressivism. In the evergreen state, every leftist that commits acts against our God-given rights has relinquished their energy to us, which continues to make us stronger and more powerful than ever before. Now, I know a lot of Washington residents who are actually on realtor websites right now looking for what is my exit strategy, right? So I'm actually urging you to take a break from planning your exit strategy. Put down your white flags of surrender and wage your battle with us right here at home to take our state back from the progressive left and the globalists who think they are entitled to it. If we lose the most beautiful state in the union to progressivism, it will show up at your gate, whether that's in Idaho, Montana, Arizona, and Texas, because you know what? It's there already. We are going to expose the truths of the progressive movement and share information widely from original sources to educate people about progressive goals and their infiltration of our entertainment, our media, our schools, and our government at all levels. The fake news has hidden these facts from all of the American people for decades now. But now the Kirkland White House speaks up, and we are going to tell the truth. As uncomfortable as it's going to be told.
Let me share something with you that may be a little shocking. We are not Republicans. We are independents, both in politics and in thought. There are plenty of progressives in the Republican Party as well. And we're going to try to get rid of them. Jenny and I are just great Americans, loving our police, our Constitution, our rights, and our neighbors. And what really excites me every day when I'm out tending to the MAGA Flowers Garden is meeting great American Democrats who also love the police, love their freedom, love their rights, and also value ours. And they are so sorry to see the radicals in their party breaking the law and violating them. I strongly believe that at the Kirkland White House, where we are not affiliated with one party or another and not endorsing any candidates, but exposing the ongoing push for progressivism on a global scale, we can convince these moderates, these great Americans, that their party has been hijacked by progressives. Believe me, people who like progress are not progressives. They are simply humans like you and me. Progressivism is a political ideology and is just a fancy name for communism. All people love progress. The idea that only progressives like progress is ridiculous. Progressivism is regressive. Name one instance of communism that led to anything innovative except the volume of poverty, death, and destruction. You can't, because it doesn't exist. If moderate Democrats think for 1 second that they can control the radical progressive elements in their party, look no further than CHOP or Chaz or whatever the hell they're calling it. The East Precinct, yeah. This is mayhem, but it is all calculated. And if we don't know our history, we are destined to repeat it. Whether you call yourselves a conservative, an independent, a Republican, a Democrat, or even think that you're a progressive, and you feel something is going on that the mainstream media just isn't telling you about, and you are worried about what you see happening to our country, but you don't know what it is, quit fearing. You're right. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean you can't stand up and fight. I hate to be anecdotal, but this election may be your last chance to save this beautiful evergreen state. And it may be the last chance to save America.
So I think you'll all agree with me, right? We've all seen the level of abuse our law enforcement has received since the progressives have started rioting in the streets. Our police today are not being supported by the city managers or the mayors or their lousy governor. Yet they leave their homes every single day to show up for their shifts. Now tell me who's braver, and we need to support our police. So since we open carried downtown Kirkland for the first time, in that beautiful little waterfront town, our lives have never been the same. The amount of vitriol has just been unbelievable, but we will never stop. We support our police because they have been protecting us and our rights. And we show our support for the police. In fact, we raised over $3,500 for Officer Shoup's Memorial Fund. And we did a toy drive for Bothell PD, as well as for Kirkland PD, and we are currently doing a toy drive for Renton PD.
Everybody in this audience, do us a favor. Go out of your way to thank your local police officers for their service. And do what you can do to support your local police department. Never have they needed the support of their community like they do right now. Hold a toy drive for your local heroes in blue, because as brave as we are to show our support for the president in deep blue King County, none of us are as brave as the officers that leave their homes every day to protect our rights. Still, as brave as they may be, even they need a little help from a teddy bear or a toy when they arrive on scene and there is a child involved. We will never give up. We will never give in. And we will stand with our president to make America great again. So when you go home today, patriots, raise your flags, put out your signs, quit hiding in the basement. Fight for what is rightfully yours. Stop letting the left intimidate you into silence. The time to speak up and to speak out is now. Because if we can do it, so can you. Put your patriot hat on and the armor of God and meet the vitriol with kindness and love. It is not as bad as you have been told in the media. Come to our home tomorrow for our Summer Sundays finale at the Kirkland White House on State Street South. The Assembly bugle call plays promptly at 1500 hours. Bring some food, bring your own drinks, bring your hats, bring your flags, take a picture with the MAGA Flowers Garden. It's time to put your patriot pants on, step it up, and take this state back from the progressives in our government.
All right, so I want you to get out your phones for me, and I want you to go follow our Twitter handle. It's called @MAGA_flowers. And all I'm gonna say is, you're gonna love it. And then I want you to also follow on Twitter @KWH Kirkland.
That's the Kirkland White House.
Correct. And then we also have a Kirkland White House Facebook page, and we also have @Kirkland White House on Instagram. So with that, from the Kirkland White House and the MAGA Flowers Garden, we love our law enforcement. God bless our brave men and women in blue. God bless Washington State. God bless all of you patriots, and may God bless America.